now I'm talking about the reverse engineering. Okay, you are going inside something and trying to understand, and is basically helping you to basically, though it sounds what do you say, more complex, okay, at the beginning. For anything that you're learning for the first time, it may sound complex, but if you're interested and if you're trying to learn, okay, then you say, then you feel like every time when you get a new thing that you are learning and you're understanding, you'll always feel with a feeling saying, wow, this what it happens when I'm basically learning, right? This happened a long time back, but I was not that vocal enough to explain to people. I am still not that vocal enough to explain what I know. So if you have seen my video, okay, if you have from here, I think this comprehensive guide to journey builder, from there we started, right? And after that, whatever question that you people ask me during the session, and I feel like, okay, I didn't justify the answer if I said something, because I have a chain of thought. If my chain of thought is broken, I might go to some other places, right? Then I later on, when I go on editing and I listen to somebody asking something and I said something else, I correct that, and I again either answer. If there is a simple answer, I give an answer, okay? And if it requires a more elaborative discussion, I create a video, a very short video. This will be like, obviously it is more than 1 hour and a half, right? Then after that, I create 15 minutes video and put it there. So here I have created how you basically create the entry event and then the email studio, right? So the entry event, if I remember when I was discussing that journey payload, so the question was that when Lakshmi was asking the question, saying that what is that entry mode and all, right? So then I thought, okay, let me give. Then you had that there is a same classification, sender profile, sender ID, and all those things. So those covered here in this email activity. Fine. I want everybody to understand the basics first. Okay. So here I'll take this reverse engineering especially for journey builder as a last session today, and then from next session we'll go to WX proxy. Even that is more interesting. Okay. Okay, because I fell in love with WX proxy also when I came to know from Greek's blog. Okay, because it has a lot of interesting things, even efficiency. Okay, even the speed and the way of writing programming, because I have been a hardcore programmer from my beginning of my career. So that is the advantage with WS proxy. Okay, so I'll ask you to go through this blog. Okay, spend some time and understand what I'm saying. Then you'll understand. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you, like, I'm opening the Pandora box today. Okay, so let me create a journey for you, a very simple journey. Okay, and let me give a name. I'll say I'm Scriptify. This is what our Slack community is about, right? So I'm Scriptify. Okay, it starts with, why I'm writing I'm Scriptify also is because it starts with A. So for me, searching a journey via API GET request also, it becomes easy for me. Okay, so that's why I'm Scriptify. So I had already created a data extension. Okay, here. Okay, and then I'm going to select the data extension, build the API. So I created a data extension, right? So inside the data extension, whatever a basic structure of a data extension should be, I have those. I can show you that as well. Okay, so let me change the schedule. I said recurring. Set the schedule as 8/7. What is today? 8/7. Okay, I want to make it 9, and I said daily, and it does not expire. Then okay, fine. Then contact evaluation. You have an option to evaluate all the records. Okay, or whether you want to evaluate only new records from the data extension. So we always used to do only new records added after the activation. Whatever is old, inside the data extension, it will not basically bring. Okay, I'm not going into that journey builder. You can go to my journey builder enablement and see. This is regarding watermark and other things and all. Okay, so today we are doing reverse engineering. So I'll make a very simple one. Let's take. So you have already seen how we create this entry event, right? This is called the entry source and the entry event. Okay, so there are different type of entry sources here. So I have created one video also on that. Okay, and I've created if I bring an email here and I'll drop here, and how to create this email activity also I have shown that. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag and drop the region split. Okay, I don't require this one. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is here inside my data extension I have a consent. Okay, call whether that person has a email consent or not. So from the journey data I'm going to select the email consent. Okay, and I say if the person's consent is true, then go to the path 1. Okay, so I say this is email. Okay, has consent. So I'm giving a description. If the person has a consent, send the email, else done. Okay, so my region split is created. Fine, I'm not going to create any other. So whenever I'm creating a region split, by default you have this wait, this 1 day wait and all. It is by default. You can definitely change it to say 1 minute. Okay, and let's say if you don't want to hold that person who has already received that email, you want to remove that person, so I say 1 minute. Fine, right? So I created this particular region split. I'm not creating other activities. Okay, just to understand, not to make it complex, we are doing reverse engineering. Fine, so I saved this one. Till now everything is clear now what I'm doing here? Any questions?
Yes, no, I think I have no questions.
Okay, so I saved this particular journey. Okay, now I'm going to the REST API to basically fetch all the journeys. Now I don't know, okay, what happened inside the journey. I created a journey, I saved it. I don't know what happened when I saved and all, right? I don't know anything. Now I want to know what happened with the journey. So you have to go back to my REST API in a video and all, and see how we configured this modular code and how we created a function to get the access token and how to get all these things, right? How to do a invoking the REST API get and all. I have mentioned all this. Okay, it's in my blog also, it's in my video also. So what I'm going to do, this is the old code, right? I'm not changing a single line. I'm simply doing I'm just hitting the run. Okay, now when I'm hitting the run, now I need to see my journey, that is this. I want to search the journey by that particular name. Okay, so I got this is my journey. There are a lot of journeys, so out of that I found my journey, that is Scriptify, right? Now before this you should also basically install Postman. Okay, this will help you. So via the Postman, okay, if you see, I can get a journey. Okay, when I do this one, interactions v1 interactions, I get all the journey. Okay, but there is also an option to get a journey via the journey ID, or you can also do via journey ID or via journey key. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm using this one, interaction v1 interactions, and passing the journey ID. Right. So I can fetch the particular journey. So for Scriptify, let's go back. Okay, so for this Scriptify, I'm copying this ID. Okay, I copied this ID. Okay, now I'm going to my another one, that is get the journey by ID. So I've created this code also, right? Now forget about the other things that I showed. Okay, so if I just show you this one, I haven't pasted the ID. Yeah,
Can I
sure.
ask one question? Like,
Yeah, sure.
sorry, I haven't used the Postman before. Like, used Postman for different purpose, but not for Salesforce. To use the Postman for Salesforce, like how it's connected to that? Is there any extension or something which I have to install in Postman?
Experience. No. So what you can do is go to Google Baba, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
then you write marketing cloud, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Postman collection, okay.
Okay.
So here you get a Postman collection, okay, Salesforce Marketing Cloud Postman. Then
Okay.
uh, there is somebody who has already created this. Maybe he's Aaron, right? So yeah, he's the Aaron has basically created a collection for Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Okay,
Okay.
so from that you can do a fork. You see a fork here.
Yeah.
I'm highlighting. You click that, and it will be basically forked to your Postman collection. So you can get all this to your Postman.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
And
then if you open your Postman collection, okay,
mm,
so I have already these are all forked one. So I have a workspace. Inside this workspace,
mm,
if you see, this is for this I have done fork from this particular API collection.
okay.
Okay, like I have for Akamai, I have for Adobe, I have WhatsApp, I have everything. Whatever I'm interested, I fork everything and I learn.
Okay.
Hmm. So from there you can get all the collections. Fine.
Okay.
Okay, moving back.
Okay.
So let's go back. I'm copying the ID. Okay, if you want to store it somewhere or do something, also fine. I'm opening Notepad. This is my ID. Okay, so here you have, if you remember our session previously, we just need to pass the ID. We don't have to change anything, right? That's why this is a modular coding, right? So I'm simply passing this key. Okay, now let me close this tab. I'm just save and publish. Okay, so for my AmpScriptify, which is basically this journey, okay, I want to now bring everything. So forget about the niche wala details ko just ignore. Okay, just from here, this is the basically the payload. Okay, this is the basically the payload or say the response that I receive when I'm doing the get response to that particular journey by ID. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a JSON file, fine, and then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so since I have done stringify, if you remember, here I have done stringify for that response. So everything are inside this double quotes and that slash. Okay, so here I'll do format document. Okay, and what I'm going to do is this first, because stringify means string, so the first double quote and the last double quote I remove it, fine, and I do Control H. Okay, and I want to remove that slash. Okay, so I removed everything, fine. Now my payload became a proper JSON format. Now I do right click and do format document. Now I get everything, all the payload that is required. Following me? So if you remember, let me again go back to my journey, this particular blog. Okay, so journey API documentation. I said journey builder proper documentation. So this was our basically the structure would be more or less similar to this. There might be few more things, okay, but our actual payload for normal payload, okay, for a journey builder will look like this. It need to have an active, you need to have a key, name, version, especially the triggers, goals and activities. So this trigger was basically the entry source, right? So this particular is called the entry source. Okay, currently when we are doing decision split, email split, these are the activities. So decision split, okay, email activity, wait period, or whatever you have, those are called the activities, right? Email activity, wait activity and all. So those come inside this activities, right? Now if I go here and I'm just considering on the activities, so I don't want anything others, like I'm more focusing on the decision split, right? So from this area, this activities, okay, where it stops here, let's see, okay, so it keeps on going, let's go. So this is the activity, then comes the trigger. So I copy this, okay, this activity payload, that particular property of that particular payload, okay, there I open another tab, I do again a JSON, and I do paste here. Fine. Now from here, I can basically understand this is the activity, right? So just removing the property means this payload becomes my activities payload. Following me? Few things. Obviously, see everything at one go. You don't have to understand. Okay. But if there is like say, let's go one. Okay, let's go one by one. So whenever you're creating a decision split, this ID is generated by the system. So whenever you have to create, you don't have to pass the ID. So I'm simply going to delete the ID. I'm going to keep the other things the same. You can change the key. Okay, you can't change the type. Type is the system type. So whenever you have a decision split, it's called multi-criteria decision. This key, you are supplying the key. Fine. Now, what happens is inside that decision split, okay, whenever you drag and drop or decision split, like here, automatically the system creates two different wait period, okay, with the two different paths. So that is the reason inside the outcomes, okay, this outcome is also an array, and inside the outcome you have two different outcomes. One is the default wait, another is the reminder wait. This also wait by duration, this also wait by duration. Fine. So, and here this default path, when it's happening, the criteria description is email consent is true, then you have to follow this path one, else follow this path. So this comes inside the outcomes. From here, if you see this, okay, inside these activities also we have lot of another objects. That's why the reason I was talking about was, if you follow this structure which I'm printing, at the end you will understand why I'm printing all this, to understand what is happening. Okay, so this becomes the outcome. Fine. I can remove the outcome, I can keep the outcome, there's no problem. Okay, here because we have done stringify, so all this while this and other conditions, you have to basically correct this one. Okay, so everything you have to make it correct. So all this double quote and all, it has to be done correctly. Okay, so these things have to be corrected, but I think I have already made this one. So I'm just going to copy this, okay, and I'll show you here. I don't want to spend time correcting those formatting here. Okay, same definition. So I paste it here. So that now that the double quote at the front and double quote at the end becomes consistent. Okay, and inside there, whatever double quote was there, I added the slash and made it proper string there. Okay, so it will not be, if I just remove this slash, then it will say that okay, this one definition ends here itself, there is a double quote. Okay, and you might land into trouble. So this is the default path, and the default path has a filter definition. There's a condition set saying that operator and condition set individual do on an individual contact. Okay, I don't want to go there inside. Okay, saying that is imperial attribute. Now if I have to go to this, it becomes a very different thing. Okay, and which particular attribute is looking at, it's looking at email consent. Okay, and I've said this is the this de audience dot this. Okay, this is the trigger entry definition key or ID's value. Okay, whenever if you go back to my triggers entry definition, how whenever we creating a entry source, we were defining the IDs. Okay, the key and all. So from there it is picking this, and this is the email consent. Okay, so I don't want to complicate anyway. Let's move forward. Okay, so this is my multi-decision criteria. Okay, there are schemas which are basically hidden, so uh, it does not affect anything. You can keep it as it is when you're learning. Slowly later, once you understand everything, then you can understand कि यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. There is a direction out and in and all. Okay, you'll. I don't want to again complicate this. So this part, this first part, again, let me copy this. Okay, dissect this. So this is just the small part of this. Okay, this area. This is basically a multi-criteria decision split. Okay, and it also has a lot of different properties. Don't don't get worried. Okay, so I'm just showing what's happening here. And after this one is the another weight. Okay, so because the type, if you focus on the type, this type is of type weight. Okay, for 1 minute. Hmm. And this is the this particular one. Okay, this one, this weight. Okay, and it has its own key is not a problem. Okay, system is generating a key, and that's fine. You can keep the same. Okay, and this is minutes, the time zone is GMT and all, that's okay, fine. Okay, so this becomes another wait period activity. Okay, this is another wait period activity, and this is the reminder path wait activity. Okay, so I'm just removing the ID. Fine. So once I do this, okay, I'm not going into much detail, it might take longer time to discuss, but this is my normal payload. Okay, especially the payload for these activities. If I just configure this activity with this payload, now just I remove the IDs and all. Okay, and one line which was necessary was this filter definition. Then uh, I can create this kind of a journey builder. Okay, this type of journey builder from Marketing Cloud, right? So for that, what I've done is, so here I prepared this, just removed an ID and all. Okay, I have all this schema with me now, this particular schema with me. Okay, I can copy all this. Okay, I can go to content builder and then create a code snippet. So similarly, I created this one. If you see, inside everything is the same. If I copy this, okay, and I say Java, this is because we need a JavaScript. Okay, and if I paste this, you'll see everything is same. Okay, everything is same filter definition, consent, individual grouping, and all. Everything is same. I just created a SSJS script activity. Okay, a script run at server. I created a function saying define decision split activity, a function, and inside that function I said return that particular schema that I prepared just now. This schema that I prepared, right? So this was for decision split, and then I created a function, and then I defined that function and created a particular schema. Following me? Okay, so I'm returning this. So I have a decision split now called uh, this particular code snippet called decision split activity. Okay, and if I have to um, what I always keep on doing is customer key. I also keep whatever I giving the name, I keep the same. Okay, so it becomes easy for me to remember what is the customer key. Okay, now once this is done, okay, now if I go back, if you remember, if you have to again go and watch my video, okay, how to create the entry source in that same entry source, because in the entry source here, what I'm doing, entry event only. When we were doing the first journey builder REST API, we were just creating a entry source, right? Nothing else. We didn't create it like this journey would look like. Just simply delete this. Who look like this, right? We were trying to create this kind of a journey. Okay, so here in the same one, what I'm simply doing is I have this payload, right? And I said this payload. we have already discussed what is the key, what is the name, what is the description, entry mode we have discussed, right? Multi entries, one and done, and single entry across all version and all. Everything's fine. Definition type is multi-step. This is where the folder I need to go inside a folder. I need to create a journey. Version one, right? So this is creating triggers. Like I said here, if I said, if you see, where is that? If you see, this is what a simple structure of a journey looks like. So this trigger is the entry source, right? And here we have discussed how we are going to create a entry source as a data extension, right? So I'm keeping that also same. Okay. Now I need this content block, right? So define decision split activity. So at the top, I need to have that decision split ka content builder. I have to bring it here. Okay. So I'm just not changing anything. I will just duplicate this, and here I just want some variable so it doesn't get confused. So first initially I'll just make this one. So it means I'm bringing that here, not properly copied, I guess. Right? Control A copy, and yeah. So define decision split. So that particular content block, I'm bring it here. Okay. So I always try to give the mm, variables starting with small letters. So define decision split activity, I'm keeping it same. It doesn't matter what variable because we are not using this variable anyway. Okay. So I brought this content block here. Fine. Now what I need to do, everything is done. The only the activities I need to change, right? So which function I need to call? I need to call this function that is define decision split activity. Fine. So I say define decision split activity. Only I'm changing this line. Clear till now what I'm doing? I'm just calling that function, and I want to basically make that uh, journey as similar to, let me just refresh this. I haven't saved it. Okay. So if you see my folder, so this was my journey. Okay, where I have decision split 1 minute, 1 minute. But here, because this is an old one, okay, here I haven't made 1 minute. It is 1 day. Let me modify this to 1 minute to be consistent. Okay, so this is, so where is the wait period? So wait by duration. Okay, this is days. So here we had minute. Otherwise, people will ask me that you did it in, you're doing it minute and now it's in something else. So here, this one. Okay, so this is in minutes. So let me, from days I want to change it to minutes. Okay, and another remainder period also I want to make it in minutes. So days I want to make it minutes. Fine. So I'm saving this. Hmm. Now my data, my journey name. So I said reverse engineering sample one. Okay, reverse engineering sample one. Hmm. Now I save this. Okay, publish this, and if it gets 200, then we'll see a journey has been created. Okay, so 200, and I'm getting the response at the time also. If I just do the same thing that I did before also, you'll find a lot of interesting things from here itself also. But let's go back. Okay, so the journey name was reverse engineering sample one. See, right? So reverse engineering sample one. Fine. And see, similar journey has been created. But forget about this because this was created based on this trigger, get triggers one. Okay, I'm only focusing on this path, the consent decision split. How many people followed me what I said just now?
Yeah, I got.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's quite. Means you are extracting one journey and one reverse engineering by and creating one journey from that extracting data. Is it right? I'm right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
some why I'm bringing this topic was basically somebody had asked me that the person has to go every day in office. Okay, they have one journey and they have to always go and do copy journey and do all the stops. And the person wants to be a programmer and want to write a journey, okay, through REST API. She doesn't want to basically do copy journey and do the setting. Then I said, okay, you can do it. Okay, that's what I'm showing by reverse engineering. Fine. So see,
Yeah,
I just
got it.
need to know every day once I've configured this payload. Okay. Now I can keep on, you see, I can say, let's say this is campaign one, I can say campaign one, right? Everything is same, only the name is changing, and if I have to change the data extension, so I can change, right? So campaign one. Okay. Here I have just given a trigger send data extension. Inside this data extension also, you can basically go to the data extension, say which is the data extension trigger send. What is this name? Let's see. Get triggers as data extension. Okay. So if I say get triggers as data extension, I have to find where I've written this. JSON payload triggers as data extension. Wait a minute. Hmm. I can find it from here. So get triggers journey. Okay. Okay. So get triggers journey. So here, okay, here I'm doing by data extension. Hmm. I can come here and modify even the data extension name and other things also, what I want here. Okay. Ah, so I have created a lot of functions, if you remember, from the data extension for API and all. Okay. I'm just calling this function, passing a GUID. I can even change the data extension here. So I'm just here, I'm not modifying the data extension. Okay. I'm just modifying this particular journey name. So for again, let's create another one. Okay. So I said reverse engineering campaign one, right? Now let me create it. Again, I hit this one. Okay. So this also got created. Let's go back and see if this got created or not and where it created, right? So let me just refresh. It said campaign one, right? Oh, okay. If it's not creating, it means it is getting cached. Okay. So one thing, because I'm using, it has created version two also here. If you see sample one, okay, that's the real problem. Yeah, I said campaign one, but why this is only if something happens is because of cache. So if I go to another browser, hmm, let's open this. That's why I've installed more than 3, 4 browsers to practice. So let's do this. Okay. So let's see the name. So this is campaign one. Okay. Reverse engineering campaign. Now it is created. That was because of something else that happened. If you see this, okay, campaign one, then now I can refresh this and you see campaign one. See this? Okay. So similar structure, whatever is there inside the journey, that the same structure will be copied of this decision split and everything are copied. Okay. Now again, if I have to do it every day, I'll say, okay, campaign two, okay, save, publish. Obviously, some caching is going on. Okay. So just remember either you do it from incognito, कोई दूसरे different browser में try करना. This doesn't happen with cloud pages, but this is a code resource. So yeah, so campaign two is created. Okay. If I go here, let's say again, let's see, wait, without saving, then campaign two is also created. Following me?
Yeah.
Hmm. Now, you understood how we can basically create automations. Okay. I just showed why I'm showing only a small specific is because showing a complex one has to do a lot of understanding, right? Reverse engineering. So I took a decision split and I also attached an email. Hmm. I attached this email. Now let me close all this. Okay. And then I have already saved this. So again, the same principle. First, I go to this code snippet, code resource, and I want to see, I want to get the payload, right? That particular payload for this journey. So this is best reverse engineering. B, because it's coming at the top. That's why I said best. So it becomes easy for me to search. Okay. So let me search. It has a limitation of number of records it has to pass. Okay, so base reverse engineering, I fetch this ID. Okay, let me, I fetch this ID. Fine, and then I go back to this get journey by ID. Now I just change this one. Journey by ID, save and publish. Okay, so for the best reverse engineering, I'll get the payload. Fine. So this is for the best reverse engineering. Okay, best I gave because just to make my search easy. So this becomes my payload. I again copy this payload. Okay, I go. I'm going to close all this. Okay, now I want to keep this. Okay, I want to close this. Again, close this. Okay, let's close this. Now it's a JSON, right? So JSON and I paste it here. So it has more records. I say show more. And I right click and do format. I got this. So stringify. That's why I have to remove this double quote, go to the end. And then double quote. Okay. And then format. Okay. And then control H, replace it. Now this becomes a proper JSON and do format. Fine. Now I'm only focusing on activities, right? So from the activities, I'm going to extract all those activities. Okay. So what we have decision split, we have wait period, we have email, right? So from these activities, okay, I want to basically, this becomes trigger. I'm going fast because I don't want to show you certain things which I don't want to. Okay. So this becomes here just the activity payload is quite big. Okay. The same thing that I did here that time. Okay. This has to be changed. So I already have a backup. So here I just need to change this. Okay. Why? Because this because of this double that double quote. Okay. So it should understand it starts from your ends there. So this while character you have to insert to make it consistent. Okay. So all this you have to do. Okay. So here also you need to remove the ID. Okay. So first, because you want to make this a proper JSON, so you got it. Remove this. Okay. Try to format. If there is some this 8 ऐसे करके लाल आ रहा है, it means there is some kind of error. Okay. But I already have that. I have already modified coming to this. Okay. So this is how your payload will look like. The same thing for activities. There is a multi criteria decision. Okay. And then this outcome is path one and the remainder path. Okay. And for this path one, you have another property called email. So after this path, the outcome for this multi criteria is first you go if you are going to the default path. Okay. You go to the wait period, and after that you have to hit the email v2. So after that there is a email v2. Okay. In the remainder part also, if you are going to the remainder part, then there is a another email v2. If you see this journey, right? So from here it will have an email and then is a wait. Okay. So here what is saying is the default path. If you're going to default path, you have to go to the default path and then send the email. Okay. If you're going to remember the path and send the email. This for multi decision. Sorry, multi this decision split. Okay. So forget about this arguments and others. Then you have another activity that is wait by duration. So this wait by duration, these two durations wait by durations are here. This wait by duration यहाँ पे आ गया. Okay. So after that you will have the email. So email v23. So यहाँ पे email v23 is basically this one, the default path email v2 tree. So that's why this next and key inside the outcome, then you'll understand what the outcome is inside this multi-region. So, and I don't want to discuss email activity. I have shown in a video, right? So what all things you need to create this key and wait after this email, what is the outcome? The next inside this after this email is to have a wait for 1 day. Yeah. So that is there, and then other things like which email ID you need to bring and all those things you can hard code, or you can basically pass it by a function arguments also, which I've showed already, right? So for this, I created this particular payload. Okay, this is a JSON payload, and after that, I created a code snippet I call it finale because I don't want to move more explaining everything. So I created a function. So inside the function, I have a multi-region criteria. Okay, and then the same thing. Default path 1 email v2. Okay, reminder email v4, and all these things are configured. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to the data extension entry event. And there I added this line. Okay, journey activities finale. I just wanted to consider finale because I don't want to discuss again the REST API for journey, and because I can, if I have to do this session, okay, I can keep on discussing for more than 1 year, obviously. Okay, so this is what I brought, the content block. Okay, it is brought. Now I just need to change this function from decision split to this particular finale. Okay, so let me change this. This is a function. Remember, this is a function. Okay, let's change the name. Let's consider this reverse engineering final sort. It's not saying don't say it final. Anyway, okay, let's save this. Let's publish this. Okay, and run this. Right, so this is the final sort. Okay, now let's go back. Let's see. So where's that final? Yes, here. Created. Okay, now if I have to do, let's say, if I have to just take this, let's do, there is another one also, which finally I want to show something else as well. So that was from data extension. One was with the API event. Yeah, inside the API event, okay, this was the trigger for the API event, and this was the activity, right? What I need to do, I just need to copy this line to bring that content block at the top. Okay, and I need to call the function that is journey activity finale. Okay, finale, or whatever you call it. So here I paste this and call this a function. Okay, and this is API reverse API event / finale. I am loving with this word. So let's copy this. Okay, and let's try to save this. What happens? Okay, yeah, it created saying that API event finale. Okay, let's go back. Let's see this. Okay, where is it? API event. Yeah, so this also got created. Open hoja. Oh, right. See, done. Understood?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, now what else you want to know about journey builder? So this is a very simple journey I created. I could have created more activities, but obviously the payload will become bigger and bigger. That's why I said first start with basics, creating a simple entry source, different kind of entry source. Then create email activities. Try to create those email activities, and then you have to create all those things, right? So this is how we create. Fine. So okay, if there is a question, you can ask. If no, then I'll going to stop, and then I can listen again to you people. Any questions? Hello.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Nobody. Okay. So I'm stopping here.